What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Ari Wheeler here, your profit growth strategist. And I'm here today to talk to you about some things to consider before switching to S-Corp for your business. Running a little late, but I've decided that this year is the year of imperfect action when it comes to social media stuff. So here we are. Cheers. Took me a little bit to get everything situated, but we should be ready to go. So if you are jumping on live, if you would do me a favor and introduce yourself in the comments. Some of you I know sort of personally by now, and others of you are probably new to the page. So if you're on live, go ahead and drop in the comments where you're tuning in from, right? Like what part of the country, and then what kind of business you have. Are you a chiropractor? You an IBCLC? Do you have a boutique? So on and so forth. I would love to know. I'm just trying to pull up somewhere that I might actually be able to see comments this time, because every time I try to interact with people on my live, it seems to not go very well. I either forget to look or I just can't see the comments. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's go find this guy over here. All right, and then, sorry, I forgot to say, if you are tuning in on the replay, go ahead and hashtag replay in the comments for me, and then let me know where you're tuning in from and what kind of business you have. As always, each one of you is really important to me, and I want to build an actual relationship with you. I don't want you to just be like a tiny profile picture on my screen. I want to know who you are. I want to know what you love, okay? So make sure to drop those things in the comments. Now, before we sort of dive into the things to consider, I want to do like a little disclaimer here, and just say that there's no way that I could cover everything that you need to think about before switching or electing S-Corp for your business. There's no way that I could cover that all in a live, because it's so individualized. But there are some sort of blanket things that you need to think about. And so I wanted to give just kind of an overview today. And I want to start by saying that sometimes we see these one size fits all S-Corp recommendations, right? Like, oh, once you hit 50K in your business, you should elect S-Corp, or once you hit 75K or 100K or whatever. And the truth is that it's just not that simple, okay? The answer to whether or not it makes sense for you or your business to elect S-Corp in this moment in time, the answer to that is every accountant, bookkeeper's favorite phrase, which is, it depends, okay? So bearing that in mind, I want to talk about just some like overarching things that are really important for us to look at. And then we can get into kind of some more specifics. Okay, let me come back over here, add some slides for you guys. I forgot to add these when we were doing the Talk to Me Goose. This is like my favorite slide because it just shows you that I'm an 80s nerd. But anyway, so we can go ahead and skip this one. All right, I gotta come back over here. All right. So we are talking about 3 things to consider before electing S-Corp status, right? For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Ari Wheeler with Some Lady Financial LLC. I specialize in helping holistic pregnancy and postpartum professionals increase their profits and their impact with my SERVE protocol, okay? And we've sort of done a little small talk already, so we're just gonna go ahead and dive into these 3 things to consider. And if you hear my toddler in the background, it's fine. Just, you know, work from home life. Okay, so before we dive into these 3 things, right, I think the thing that comes up the most often when we talk about S-Corp is sort of like the thing that, and I don't feel like everybody really knows anything about S-Corps, but if you know anything, it's usually that by electing S-Corp, what happens is you are paying yourself in your business, right? You have to pay yourself through payroll. And then your reasonable compensation, right, is what the IRS requires you to pay yourself. And that, of course, is subject to all of the regular payroll taxes and withholding, okay? And then once you hit that reasonable compensation, you are welcome to then take the additional profits out of your business as what's called a distribution, which then does not have those payroll taxes taken out, right? So it's not necessarily tax-free money, but it's less taxed money, if that makes sense, okay? So I feel like that is the thing that, if anybody knows anything about an S-Corp, that's the thing that I hear the most. But there are so many other things to consider, all right? So let's dive into some of those right now. First up is the legal impact of becoming an S-Corp, okay? This is all about risk, okay? I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really speak to the risk factor, okay? Many times an S-Corp will come with less risk than an LLC, but that's not really in my lane. That's not within my scope, not for me to decide. And that is why I require my clients to have a lawyer on their team of professional advisors when we're looking at moving to an S-Corp. And I always encourage other professionals to come to the table as well, right? You have a financial planner, your tax preparer, financial advisor, right? Lawyers, bookkeeper, if you have a separate bookkeeper. I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, even someone like your office manager that's going to be handling expenses and things like that. We really need to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Okay, so legal impact, risk, really important. We definitely need to make sure that you are consulting a lawyer to make sure that you understand the full implications risk-wise of moving to an S-Corp. Okay. Now, the second thing that we want to consider is going to be your benefits. Okay. There are some things that you can write off as a sole proprietor, single member LLC that you can't once you're an S-Corp. Okay. And it's really important to review those things as a part of the big picture when you're deciding to make the switch. So let's just take like a really basic example here. Okay. If there is a $10,000 deduction that you are taking as, say, a single member LLC, and then we look at the comparison, and switching to an S-Corp is only going to save you $10,000, but you can no longer take that $10,000 deduction. It probably doesn't make sense for you to elect S-Corp just yet, because there are a lot of other things that go into maintaining your S-Corp status that are probably going to cost more than that. Okay, so it's really important to think about that and really get a feel for the big picture. All right. There we go. Okay, and then the third thing that I want you to think about is, do you have the funds to maintain your S-Corp? Okay. Now, I mentioned that there are a lot of things that you have to do to remain compliant as an S-Corp, right? You need payroll, right? You need bookkeeping. If you are at a point in your business where it makes sense for you to elect S-Corp, I promise you, you shouldn't be doing your own bookkeeping, okay? Consulting, right? Tax prep, you don't have an additional tax return that you have to file as an S-Corp in addition to your personal taxes. So there's going to be an extra cost for that, right? And then tax planning that needs to go with your S-Corp, right? You don't just elect S-Corp and go, hooray, I have an S-Corp. Well, there's a lot of things that go along with that. And if you want to maximize the tax benefits of that, you definitely need a tax plan. Okay. All right, so you're still not sure, right, if electing S-Corp is the best move for you? Like, maybe you looked at this and you were like, well, some of you probably hear this and you're like, okay, definitely not time for me yet. Cool, all right. But maybe you have some of these things in place and you're like, well, it could make sense for me, but I'm still not sure, okay? There are so many strategies that you can implement within an S-Corp to minimize your tax liability. And then it's really important for you to know what you're gonna do with that money once you're saving it on taxes, right? It's not just like money to throw around. This is where it's really important to have a financial advisor on your team of professionals so they can help you decide where you're going to put that money, right? Let's make sure that you're going to be set up for retirement. Now, to really get the rundown of whether or not this is the right move for you, you need a full S-Corp analysis. So you need somebody to come in and weigh all of the pros and cons, look at what your situation looks like with and without the S-Corp election, and then see what's the difference. Does it make sense for you, right? So if that is something that you feel like you would be interested in, you can go ahead and comment big picture in the chat. I will personally reach out to you to chat about that and see if you qualify to move forward with an S-Corp analysis, okay? I know this was a really simple, like high overview of the S-Corp process and election. But again, it's so individualized, it's hard to make a blanket recommendation, okay? So it's really important that you have a professional do this for you, whether it's me, whether it's someone else. You definitely want to make sure that before you make this election, you have all your ducks in a row and you know for sure that it is the best decision for you and for your business moving forward, okay? If you have small business buddies that you think could benefit from this information, please, please, please feel free to tag them in the comments or go ahead and share this video with them through the DMs. And again, if you have any questions for me, if you need support, right, my inbox is always open. Please feel free to send me a DM. I don't bite, I'm pretty friendly. So I'm here when you need me, all right? Other than that, I will see you guys again next week. And I hope you have just an incredible week. Let's grow and let's have a great week.